You can
Now
see,
they're visible. Yes, ma'am. Now they're visible.
you see the slides now.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I just review what we had done in the last class. We had firstly focused on traditional filing system and the problems associated with traditional filing system and how your database management system or your centralized database management system does away with all those problems. There's data duplication, data redundancy, there is data duplication, data redundancy. Duplication means we talked about a customer opening an account, and then the moment he opens a savings bank account in the bank, his details are entered there, and then when he goes to open another account, say takes a loan, and a loan account is opened, his details are again entered there. So in this way, there is duplication of data which is taking place. There was no simultaneous updation. If he changes his house, his address, change of address is intimated to both the counters, but maybe the savings accounts person, he incorporates the change on the very same day, while somebody else, the loan a person who's handling loan, encourage enters that details maybe a month later or 6 months later. So data updation does not take place simultaneously. Now all these, then there was program data dependence, that is depending upon the application that you have, you would create a program, and you would also define the data where in which you'll define the data, the structure of the data that the program will depend upon. So there was close coupling between the program data, or we see there was great dependence between program and the data. So every time we had to run a program, so we write the data. So if we want to generate how many customers have account with us, you want to generate a list of customers who have opened a savings account with us, we will define the data and write the application accordingly. Similarly, if it's you want to find how much loan they have, how much loan you have sanctioned to customers, again what you would do is you would be basically again defining the data fresh, and then writing the program for generating a report on how many people have taken a loan from you. So there was great program data dependence. There was no security because so many people were defining the data, so many people had control over the data. All these problems have been removed by your database management system. Now, under a database management system, we define the data only once. The data is being defined only once and for all, and anybody who wants to access data has to define it in this way. So we talked about data definition, data dictionary, and data manipulation language. In the earlier system, it was not possible to make an ad hoc query wherein you will find how many customers have taken a loan. So they will not be able to integrate two files. But centralized database management system has been able to remove all these problems. Now we move on to data warehouse. Now what exactly is a data warehouse? As the word indicates, warehouse is a storage. So it's a storage of data. Data warehouse basically is a storage of data wherein we get data from various sources. They could be operational sources like your plant, which is running and which is manufacturing goods. They could be external databases, and all the various databases, we compile them all together and we put it in your data warehouse. So it is known as a data storage or data warehouse. So data warehouse stores data that have been extracted from n number of sources, operational sources, external sources, smaller databases, and it becomes a central repository of data to be used by the managers. Now, when we put in data in the data warehouse, it goes through the process of consolidation, that is getting from various sources, filtering unwanted data, correcting incorrect data. So the database is being identified by a unique number, like we mentioned this last year in the last class. So if there is any, so your data could be held in the department, your data is held in the personal file in your hall of residence, but you're identified by the unique number. So if there is any incorrect data filtered in, found in anywhere, that gets removed, that gets corrected, because you are being identified by one unique number. So we correct data, filter unwanted data, we aggregate data, we consolidate the data from various different sources. So this is stored in what we call a EDW, Enterprise Data Warehouse. Now, Enterprise Data Warehouse, therefore, is having huge amount of data. So it will be very difficult for you to retrieve data. So what we do is we divide them into smaller subsets, which is known as data mart. So data warehouse is divided into data mart, which is a subset of the data warehouse, which contains data about specific purpose or function or process. So a data mart could have data related to the area of operations, data related to the area of HR, data related to the area of marketing, and so on. Further on, if you're talking about human resource, data further could be into smaller sub data marts, which could contain data about employee. It could contain data about training needs of employee. They could be segregated further down. Like in case of marketing, it could be data related to sales. It could be data related to promotion. So your data mart is a small subset. Let's say, for instance, it has 4 data marts: finance related data, operations related data, marketing, and HR related data. Now, marketing related data could be further broken down to the smaller data marts, which could contain data related to sales. It could contain data related to sales in different regions. It could contain data related to promotion activities which have taken place. They could be further subdivided, so that this is all done for ease of retrieval. Now, why do we hold a data warehouse? We hold data we need data so that we can examine the data, we can mine the data for generating useful information. So data which is held in the data warehouse is analyzed to identify hidden pattern and trends in business activities. So what we do, we hold data because we want to mine the data, we want to analyze the data and get valuable information from it. It uses advanced pattern recognition algo, mathematical and statistical techniques to identify some valuable information held within the data. So predictive analysis is an area that deals with extracting information from data and using it to predict trends and behavior used in actuarial science. We use this data for in banking, financial services, and insurance segment. We use the data for travel. So we see that customer has been traveling frequently. So we design a travel package depending upon the needs of the customer. Design the travel package depending upon the needs of the customer. So he goes abroad to these Southeast Asian countries. So we design a package for him, a 7-day package or a 10-day tour. And so it helps us analyze how much is he willing to spend, where does he want to travel, what kind of facility does he look forward to. So we design a travel package for him. Now, we also have examples in the healthcare sector. We have healthcare at home, HCAH, or we call Portia. Like, these are those companies who have seen that, who have in fact these are those companies who have in fact analyzed patient data. So they have taken data about patients in the hospital, and they have found out that there are customers who want some treatment at home. So it could be post operative treatment, so post operative care. So once the customer is has undergone an operation, once the customer has undergone an operation, what they do is the post-operative care they try to provide at home. So they realize that customers, there is a large segment of patients who would like to be who would like to heal at home, so the after the operation, they would not like to stay back for 7 days or 6 days in the hospital. They would like to be brought at home. So they went into this area and they're providing services, post-operative care services at home. Then cancer patient, they have to be taken for a chemo. So what they do is, so it's hectic for a patient party to get the patient every, say, month to the hospital for a chemo. People are working, so it is very difficult to find time or take a leave every, say, 20th or the every day or after every 30 days in a month. So what they do is they provide these services at home. So they analyze the data of patients and they realize that these are services which can be offered at home. So this was an opportunity for them, and that is how Portia has come up, or healthcare at home has come up, which provides you services at home. So what we do is we analyze the data and we give a offering to the customers. We give a offering to the customer. It is used extensively in telecom sector, retail, pharma, and pharma sector. So these are the sectors where they've been used. banking sector, financial services, insurance, travel, healthcare, telecom, retail, and pharma. Now, what are these tasks? There are four ways in which we identify data, or we try to mine the data. So we call them data mining tasks. There are four ways in which we can mine the data, and therefore we call them data mining tasks. They are classification, clustering, classification, estimation, clustering, and association rule learning. Now, in the classification, we create predetermined classes. So we create predetermined classes, and whatever data comes to us, we put them in these classes. For instance, patient can be put into high risk, medium risk, and low risk patients. So patients with different range of blood pressure. So we can put them in high risk patient, medium risk patient, and low risk patient. So these are predefined classes, and then we analyze how the patient has, what kind of a treatment the patient deserves. For credit application, we can put them as high risk, medium risk, and low risk also. So we have created these classification beforehand, and whenever the data element comes to us, we put them. Data element here is a patient. Data element in the earlier case is a application for loan. So application for loan. So we put them into three different classes. Now, estimation. Estimation means we try to make an estimate of
Excuse me,
some.
ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. Ma'am,
Yes.
are you changing your slides?
Yes.
Ma'am, but they're not changing. Ma'am, we are still on the data warehouse.
No, we were. I had moved on to. Okay, let me.
Ma'am, now we can see estimation, data mining tasks.
So you've seen this slide: banking, financial services, insurance sector, travel sector. Can you see the slide now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It is banking BFSI segment, travel, where we design travel package depending upon their needs, where they want to go, how much are they willing to pay, what kind of services do they want, the time period they want to go for 7 days or fortnight. So we try to uh, design a travel package. Similarly, healthcare, we analyzed the data of patient and we found that there are services which can be offered at home, and therefore emerged healthcare at home or POSHA. Then telecom, retail, pharma, other sectors where we use this. Now, how do we mine the data? We mine the data using data mining tasks. So we call them data mining tasks. In other simple words, it is the way we analyze the data. So the way we analyze the data, we call them data mining tasks. So there are four tasks or four ways in which we can analyze the data or mine the data. These are classification, estimation, clustering, and association rule learning. In classification, we create predetermined class, like we said, depending upon the we create a high risk, low risk, medium risk class. Three ranges, three classes we have created, and depending upon the blood pressure that the patient has, we put them either as a high risk, medium risk, and low risk patient, and then we design recommend a strategy for him or diagnose his problem. Similarly, a loan application can be put into a high risk, medium risk, or a low risk uh, loan. Estimation. Under estimation, what we do is we try to make an estimate of some variable depending upon certain input variable. So we have certain inputs. Depending upon the input, we try to make a estimation of something. Like for instance, we try to make an estimation of what could be the total family income depending upon the number of vehicles he has. Depending upon uh, how he shops, what are the items that he purchases, how much he spends each moment, each time that he visits the store. On that basis, so that becomes my input variable, I try to make an estimate what is his actual income. Depending upon how much a student spends, we try to make an estimate how much does he money he draws from home. So we make a estimate of a future variable depending upon certain input variable, certain facts that we have. So based on a certain facts, we try to make an estimate of certain fact which is not known to us. So that is estimation. Now, clustering. Under clustering, there is no predefined class. We identify the total class or the total group, and then we create classes from them, or we create what we call clusters, depending upon similarity of features. So this task of segmenting a diverse group into a number of similar subgroups. So in a hostel, we could classify them depending upon the course that they are going. So in a hall of residence, there would be students of maybe management, students of commerce, students coming from arts background. So we will try to segment them depending, creating subgroups and creating clusters. Or say in a class, we can identify students coming from different regions, students coming from Bihar, students coming from Bengal, West Bengal, students coming from Gujarat. So we can create clusters depending upon uh, similarity of the groups. So in a large group, we try to, here there is no predefined class, but we create classes or we create clusters depending upon similarity of the features. Last is association rule learning, is a rule that implies a certain association, or you can say a correlation relationship among two set of variables. So it's a rule that implies a certain association relationship among a set of objects, such as they occur together or they imply together. 30% of farmers that grow wheat will also grow pulses. So 30% of farmers that grow wheat will also grow pulses. This is the confidence limit. And 2% of all farmers grow both. So 2% of farmers grow wheat as well as pulses. So this is association rule learning, where we try to create association between different sets of objects. So there are four tasks that we do, four tasks that we come across, or four ways in which we can analyze the data that we hold in the data warehouse, or we call them data mining tasks. They are classification, where we create predetermined classes; estimation, wherein we have an input variable, and from that we make an estimate of a unknown fact; clustering, where we analyze the total group that we have and create subgroups depending upon similarities; and association rule learning, which tries to create a correlation relationship among a set of objects. Like we say, all those who buy snack items are snacks like chips, biscuits, etc., is likely to buy a soft drink. So this is a association rule learning. Now, coming to application, data mining can be used for customer profiling, where we try to create a profile of the customers depending upon his purchase habits, how much he's spending, what is he doing. So, customer loyal frequent flyer programs of airline is a good example, wherein we have mined the data and we have created, we know these are the customers who frequently take a flight. So we create a frequent flyer program for the airlines, wherein for a frequent flyer we give a certain discount. We enable, this is used for repurchase. This is used for making the right offer. So we know the customer is a avid reader of books. So whenever there's a discount on books, we make first offer to them. We avoid costly mistakes. What is a costly mistake? Is a customer who is, say, goes on a travel and who's willing to spend say 30 to 50,000 on one travel. So that is his budget. So we don't offer him a travel package of a 5 lakh of rupees. So that is a costly mistake, and the customer would get very annoyed. A customer would get very annoyed. So we avoid costly customer mistake by analyzing the customer. Like we took an example for a travel package, a customer who goes with a family is willing to spend something to 30 to 50,000. We offer him a travel package of 5 lakhs of rupees. He would obviously get offended. So we use it for customer profiling, for identifying loyal customers, for repurchase, for making the right offer, for also avoiding costly mistakes. We use it for customer segmentation. We can segment the
Excuse me,
customer.
ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
actually, there is some issue with the slides. They are stuck and not changing, ma'am.
Ma'am, we are still on slide number 30. Now it's 36. We were like on 30
Can
from
you
the
see
last.
this association rule learning? Customer profiling. Can you see customer profiling now?
Ma'am, now it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
visible,
Ma'am,
but
now it is visible. Ma'am, when you're changing while teaching us, then it is not changing.
Now, can you see the on clustering? Association rule learning. Now, this is customer profiling, which I covered right now. Next is customer segmentation. So can you see this slide on segmentation? Yes, can you see the slide on segmentation now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll proceed.
अभी दिख रहा है मैम बस.
Okay. We can segment customer according to income. We can segment customer according to spending habit. We can segment customer according to purchase pattern. We can segment customer according to the payment pattern. He likes to pay by card. He likes to pay by cash. Purchase pattern, that is the basket of goods that he purchases. Spending habit means how much does he spend each time that he visits my retail store. Now, basket analysis means we analyze the customer depending upon the kind of, say in a retail outlet, what are the kind of items that he purchased. So we discover co-occurrence relationship among activities. What we mean by co-occurrence relationship means, like in a grocery chain, if you buy X group of items, you're more likely to buy another group. So if you're buying groceries, you're likely to buy some home appliances as well. If you're buying, so we try to create a relationship among the goods. So rice and wheat, sugar and oil. So this is something we put together. So we try to put these items together, knowing that somebody who's buying rice and wheat would also buy sugar and oil together. So when we even display the products, we display them close by. So when we give an offer on snack items like biscuits, chips, we also give an offer on soft drink, or we tie them together. So this is called basket analysis. Now we can also use it for cross sell. I think we have done cross sell earlier also. It is used for customer attrition. So if you have better profile of customers, we will make right offer to them and they will not deflect. So it can control customer deflection or customer attrition. Better profiling helps to control customer attrition. It can be used in the quality, also in manufacturing, to analyze the root cause analysis. If there is a problem, if there's a defect, we go back and mine the data to find out where exactly was the problem. Is it because the salesman is not interacting well with the customer that a product is not selling? Or is it because there is product which is defective? If a product is defective, go back to find out where was this problem. Like in case of, I don't know how many of you have gone through the Mattel case, where the problem was with the paint. It was not with the components or the manufacturer. So the final company got a bad name because of some component or the paint industry which was giving a poor quality paint. Similarly, when we talk of a recall, Ford tire recall, the Ford company gets a blame, or its brand image is affected because there was a problem in the tires and the tire was given by some other company. So we go back to the root cause to find where the problem was. It is used in risk analysis by the mortgage company. It is used for fraud detection. Say for instance, you are habituated to withdrawing 5 to 10,000 in a month from withdrawing, and suddenly your withdrawal shows say 30 or 40,000 every time. So that makes you aware there's something wrong. It alerts you that this customer is used to withdrawing 5 to 10,000 at a time, but suddenly he started withdrawing 30 to 40,000 at a time for the last couple of days. So it gives you a clue that something is wrong. Delinquency, we were here. Cross-sell, customer attrition, quality, risk analysis for mortgage companies. In this case, they try to find a default. Who's going to default? So if we give a loan and we try to find out he's paying EMI, and suddenly for 1 month he skips payment of EMI. Then he pays EMI again in the next month, say October. Then again in November and December, 2 months he skips payment. So you analyze the trend and you find out, is he going to default payment? So he'll become a non-performing asset. The delinquency tracking, payment pattern, then retail. Now, yes, yet there is two kinds of mining we do. One we call text mining and the other is web mining. Now, text mining, when we are talking about the data that we have hold in our organization, they are, if it's an employee data, we have an employee number, we have the employee name, we report the department that he reports to, he's engaged in, we have details about his years of experience and income he draws and so on. If we have data about supplier, we have the supplier code, we have the supplier name, we have the supplier address, we also have the products that he is supplying. So that is a very structured form of data that we have. So this is structured data like a purchase transaction or employee records. They are all structured data. But unstructured data does not have a form. And you'll be surprised to know that it contains 80% of useful information. So unstructured data has no such form. Like we have employee record, so we'll have employee number, employee name, employee department, employee age, employee salary, address, and so on. Very structured form. Text unstructured data has no such distinct form, but it has 80% valuable information. It has no distinct form. But it offers unique insight about the customer behavior and attitude. Unstructured data, mostly in the form of text, and they have 80% useful information, like an email that he sends to you, a blog he writes, a report he sends, a tweet. These are very valuable information. So you hold 80% of valuable information is held here. So you try to identify the customer voice. Is it a complaining customer? Is it a negative voice? Is it a positive voice? So if it's a positive voice, it's an appreciation. So text mining tools help to analyze these data. They could be from memo, reports, blogs, tweets, etc., and extract key elements from large unstructured data sets. We try to identify the customer voice used to express the feedback. It's an elated customer, happy customer, complaining customer. It's a negative voice, a positive voice, or a conditional voice. Conditional voice means controlled, right? We're trying to give a balanced opinion. You're not saying anything negative, you're not saying anything positive. So you have to also identify that. It helps identify key events, intent to buy or intent to leave. If it's a negative voice, you have to become alert. So there's an intent to leave. It's a positive voice. You can capture on that and improve on it. And then other is web mining. It is another rich source of valuable information which can be mined for pattern trends into customer behavior. Now, what is web mining? It's the discovery and analysis of useful pattern and information from the World Wide Web, which we call web mining. Businesses turn to web mining to understand customer behavior or to evaluate effectiveness of a particular website, and we quantify success of a marketing campaign. So if somebody visits your website and he spends time on it, it shows he has interested, and he moves from one catalog to another. It shows how much time you spend. You analyze that. This customer came to my and he left immediately. It's a negative tone. He did not spend time. If he spent time, did he go through the products that I've put on display, which is on the catalog? How much time he spends? Does he move from one catalog to another? So we try to evaluate customers' interest in us in this form. So this is then it moves from one catalog to another catalog. So we use how much time has he spent, who's the customer, what are the catalogs that he's gone through, garments, he's gone through books. Does it convert into a purchase? If not, what could be the reasons? So web mining is another powerful tool, another source for a data or analyzing data. So we have covered today what is data warehouse. We have covered today what is the data warehouse? It's a storage of data. Then why do we need to maintain a data warehouse? Now, data warehouse is broken into data mart, which is a subset of data, which could pertain to data relating to functional areas or to certain, in a functional area also. Say in marketing, it could hold data related to sales, data related to advertising promotion. So it could further be divided into smaller data marts. Then data mining, we basically store the data in order to mine the data for useful information. We try to identify hidden patterns. And how do we mine? There are 4 tasks that we have. These are classification, where we create predefined groups. And we try to classify, put that input data in a particular group. Then estimation, where we have certain input data. On the basis of that, we try to estimate a certain variable. Then clustering, where we don't define classes, but we analyze the total group we have and create clusters depending upon common features. Association rule learning, we try to create a correlation relationship. Then these are the applications. We use it for customer profiling, for segmenting customer according to spending habit, income, etc. Market basket analysis, cross-sell, attrition, quality, to find the root cause of a quality problem. Then we use it for risk analysis, fraud detection, delinquency tracking, retail, and also text mining, which holds 80% of information, valuable information, which is in fact unstructured data, which is in the form of blog, tweets, etc., and web mining, where we turn to the World Wide Web to analyze information about the customer. So we are over with our course on a database management system. In the next class, which is on Monday, we begin your presentation right at 12:05, and there are 3 groups who will present. I have not received any queries, so I understand they're comfortable. We begin a presentation tomorrow at
Yes, ma'am, exactly. Ma'am, we have 3 presentations tomorrow as well.
tomorrow on Saturday. The second group would be presenting on Monday, and since Tuesday is a holiday, the third group would be presenting on Wednesday from 2:00. We wind up with the class. Any query, any problem you have? So if anybody wants to know anything, so if not, we can call it a day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.